ArsenalFanTV, Bully, better today, much better than, we've seen, from the Liverpool performance. But, like Lee was just saying, we closed down, the work rate was there. That's what we want to see every time, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got to close down, and that means closing down from the front, not just waiting until they get into the midfield or the defensive area. Like, you've got to close down from the front. Ozil did that today. Lacazette did it a couple of times, not as much. Giroud did it when he came on a couple of times. But it was one of those today. They could have walked out there quite easily thinking, it's only Bournemouth, we're going to win this, and could have come unstuck. You look at last season down at Bournemouth.
I remember that.
Yeah.
3-0 down.
In one respect, I had food poisoning that day, so I didn't make it.
You were lucky, I tell you. But, I mean, listen, you're spot on there. If you get complacent in the Premier League, you're in trouble. We weren't complacent. We were brilliant today.
Yeah, we was a lot better today. But there are still times that we went to sleep, especially after we went down, after Francis went off.
Yeah.
We didn't close down enough up front and in the middle. And we sat back. A team of a lot better quality will end up hitting us and scoring goals against us. We've got to stop them getting to our area, and we've got to stop this cross. 50% of protecting the goalkeeper and protecting a clean sheet is by stopping the cross coming into the box. Right. If you allow the ball to come into the box, anybody could come running in on it, especially when you're defending zonal. Because then nobody's talking to each other, and somebody will come running down the middle of the zone, and everybody's looking at each other going, you got him? I got him? And that's where we come unstuck.
The Alexis thing, what did you make of that? There's a few fans, I'd say a very tiny minority.
Tiny-minded, yes.
They were giving him a bit of stick. What did you make of that?
Alexis actually showed that he's more of a professional man than the Ox did. The Ox, sorry to say, but take note of how many fingers I'm holding up, Ox.
Thinks he's John Cena.
You're still watching wrestling at your age.
We technicals ain't real, buddy. Come on, man.
But so for you, people shouldn't be giving Alexis any stick.
He didn't do like the Ox has done last 2 weeks ago at Liverpool. Basically, the Ox might just as well have stood there with a Liverpool shirt on for the amount he actually did to help out Arsenal.
Alexis was terrible at Liverpool as well.
He had nobody.
Was his mind off of it? Because I remember if the money had come, if they were to say he got the Lamar thing, he'd have been gone as well. No difference really to the Ox. Money came in, 40 million for him. Arsenal decided to take it.
Yeah. Well, the Ox.
Do we blame these players? I mean,
yeah. While they're still under contract for a team, they should at least honour that contract and put in.
If the team you're under contract for receives a bid of £40 million and says, well, actually, you know what, that's quite a lot of money for a person who's got a year left. Well, we're considering that. Wouldn't you as a player think to yourself, well, hold on, if they're considering that, well, stuff them, I'm going, man.
I think, no, I basically think that the attitude of the Ox against Liverpool turned round and made up Arsenal's mind. Arsenal had said in the press that he wanted to make the Ox involved in the team. Yeah. At the end of the day, the Ox wasn't bothered about the team against Liverpool. He didn't try and help out, and Arsenal's gone, sod you, we'll take the money and get rid of you.
You don't think the 40 million made up his mind?
Well, of course it does with these, but like the attitude of the Ox in the way he played, at least Alexis does still try and get involved.
Do you think we'll miss Oxlade-Chamberlain?
Well, he doesn't play week in, week out. And he's not playing in the position that he prefers. And unfortunately, no offence to all you youngsters around here, but you ain't the same calibre of people that used to play football back in the old days, right, where everything was all about winning the game, not about the money. And that's the problem these days. The TV has made it like that.
So you've got you don't think we'll miss Ox?
I don't think we'll miss the Ox that much. No, not really. he never got really long enough as a run, and he never played enough in the centre, which is his so-called preferred position. And as much, he also got injured. He always getting injuries. He'd get 2 or 3 games, and then he'd get injured, and that's not good enough for us. Now, whether that's because of what goes on in training, because they're left dangling their foot out for tackles and not getting stuck in properly, because a training session should be as difficult as the match you play at the weekend. Yeah, because you're not going to get better if you're playing like you do on Members' Day, when you're playing against the likes of Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, or the Spuds. Do you know what I mean? So we now got to just get our heads down and start winning well. If we get it won in the first half an hour, fine. But don't sit there and wait for the last 10 minutes and hope that we can contain it for 80 minutes and then try and hit them in